Australians are being told to prepare for possible power shortages this summer, with authorities set to contend with bushfires and an El Nino. The energy market operator is anticipating a once-in-a-decade spike in demand as hot and dry conditions take hold. It's released its summer readiness report, outlining plans to offer large industrial electricity users compensation to cut their power use during periods of high demand. And while work has been done to shore up the grid since an unprecedented intervention in the national energy market last year, Victoria and South Australia are still forecast to breach reliability standards. Reporter Stephanie Ferrier has more.
The AEMO, the energy market operator, first flagged this issue back in late August. However, this summer readiness report is a really comprehensive overview of just what the potential threats are to the nation's electricity supply, and also importantly, what contingency measures they are putting in place to try to make sure that the lights stay on. Now, it does warn that we could face a summer of extreme demand. That is because the forecast is for hot and dry El Nino conditions, increasing the risk of bushfires as well as extreme heat periods, so lots of people at the same time using their air conditioners. And that means that we could see a spike up to a 1 in 10 year demand for electricity across the eastern states as well as in Western Australia. And while AEMO says that it has already taken some steps to ensure the supply pressures are navigated, it does warn that in Victoria and South Australia, the demand spikes are expected to breach the AEMO's limit of reliability, and there is a risk in all regions of load shedding on those peak demands. AEMO says that it is working to solve this issue, and that all industry has been focused on this for months to try to ensure electricity supplies, and in fact it is procuring additional electricity supplies as well. And what we have heard from AEMO is that there is the possibility that large businesses could be compensated early under a special mechanism to ensure that they're contractually bound, basically, to give over power that they otherwise would use on some of those peak days. So that's over and above the ad hoc way that sometimes that happens on those demand days by locking it in early. But those contracts are still to be finalised, and that should happen around December. It also says that it's looking at the potential of wind and solar to help plug some of the gaps. So compared to last summer, this summer there is expected to be an extra 2,000 megawatts in capacity for electricity from those renewables. It's also looking at an additional generation of other power of about 1,500 megawatts, and that is in the network that looks after all states except for Northern Territory and in WA. Over in the west, they are looking at procuring an extra 50 megawatts of power there as well. But obviously this is a real challenge for AEMO going forward as they look towards summer and the potential for some really hot and really high demand days ahead.